Shalom. Welcome to Torah in six sections, because every day we'll learn a little bit of the Rebbe Sicha 6 days of the week. So just to review for a few seconds what we said in part 1, because this is part 2, and that is that we're talking about Avos Yisrael, love of another Jew. That Rabbi Akiva said, love your fellow like yourself, and we talked about Hillel says, don't do to your friend what's hated to him. Now let's go back to Rabbi Akiva. Let's look into the Chumash. It says, "V'yahavta l'recha kamocha." You should love your friend kamocha. I mean, just like yourself. Well, how can that be? Meaning, for example, that I'm hungry. It says, "Oh, it's time for lunch. I think I'm going to get something to eat." Do I start thinking of my friend that needs to eat? Even my wife? What is she going to have for lunch? I just go out and say, "Okay, time to take out my sandwich and eat lunch." How can you really like someone exactly like yourself? It's a very, if it's hard, it's maybe even impossible to do. And there's another idea that we asked a question that Rabbi Akiva said there was a klal gadol b'Torah, loving another Jew. Rashi brings it down. So a klal, we asked the question again, that if you love someone, well, why do you need all these other specific questions, these mitzvahs? Don't hate them, there's a mitzvah. Don't be jealous of them. Don't harm them. Don't speak lashon hara against them. Well, if you like someone, you're not going to say he's a shmo that talk lashon hara against somebody. So why do we need all the specific mitzvahs if we have Rabbi Akiva saying klal? But the answer to that now is that he didn't say that's only mitzvah. He said klal gadol b'Torah. He says it's a big principle in the Torah. Klal has principle, the generality, and the pratim are the details. So he didn't say this is it and only it, but like again, in anything you make an outline of some idea. Well, it's not the whole thesis, it's just a general outline, and then you fill it in with all the details. So that's the answer there too, that we have Rebbe Akiva says the general idea is to love someone just like yourself. But then there are details, like we just said before, don't hate them, don't hurt them, don't say lashon hara. These are all details in loving another Jew, giving tzedakah, helping them, whatever. If you love them, then you're going to help them out if they have a need. Now there's another idea about which we just asked about kamocha, like yourself, just like yourself, kamocha. So actually look at the Hebrew ke, a chaf in front of a word means like. Didn't mean as exactly like yourself, which would be like mamish. Really, it says kamocha, like yourself. You help someone out. If you need help, then you'd say, look, again, we were just talking about tzedakah help. You know, wish someone would help me out. Well, if you'd want someone to help you out, and some friend comes to you and saying, I need help too, then they also should get help. Like yourself, meaning you would want someone to help you out in your distress, so to like someone else, that you would help them out also. So that's another idea of the answers. The idea of Rabbi Akiva, which is obviously not impossible at all, to be like exactly as yourself, but like yourself, that can be. If you want someone else to help you out, you could help somebody else out. So that's the end of part 2. Stay tuned for part 3.